which is going to cause some sugar fluctuations. So you want to drink that water real regular in the morning and not much in the afternoon, and pick up some extra in the evening. The body likes monotony as it relates to eating at the same time every day, drinking at the same times every day, breathing and relaxing, exercising the same times every day, going to bed at the same times every day, getting up at the same times every day. When you're having these sugar fluctuations, you've got to get your body into rhythm for the body to correct those things. You can't just do one thing one day and another thing the next day, because the body don't know what's coming next. And so it don't know how to get the sugar situation into a rhythm. It has to do that in order to get back on top of these things. If you're going to be mad at the same time every day. And have fun at it. Enjoy it. I mean, just go out in the backwoods there or in a closet and just yell your head. Just do whatever you want, but only do it for a certain length of time, and then you're done. And do it at the same time every day. See, the body likes rhythm. It needs that rhythm. All right? It's when you do get mad at, it fools the body. Hey, you're not supposed to get mad now. See? See, it will prepare and it will help cover and compensate for a lot of things if we'll just give the body a good schedule of doing these things. Even worry. It's not bad to worry once in a while. There's some things that we need to be worrying about. But I'm going to only worry 5 minutes about this. See, give it a time limit. See, and have some blackstrap while you're doing it. Okay. Some of these projects need a little extra, help. I would suggest praying more than you're doing these other things, Probably if you had a regular time of prayer, you'd probably avoid a lot of these problems, right? And you make a lot less mistakes. So but I'm exaggerating maybe a little bit, but not much. This is really important stuff that I'm talking about, and it's what will help you get over a lot of these problems that you've been having for years, which are schizophrenic, depression. Depression's a real problem for the high sugar. I didn't mention that. But high sugar dropping is depression. And so a lot of these things that we've experienced all our lives, the only way you're going to really get on top of those things is to get your body on a schedule. And maybe it's not the best schedule to start with. A lot of times I'll suggest you do this, 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 and that, and I give you a time. Well, maybe you can't do that regular or just exactly that way, but at least get a schedule. Maybe it's not the perfect way I would look at it, but it's the best you can do. Just be regular at it. Be regular at a bad schedule. That's still a step in the right direction. See, the biggest problem is we're irregular on everything. That's the way our society is today. And we're just burning out. And so this is one of the results, is this sugar fluctuation problem is one of the main symptoms of a burned out society or burning out physically. So we're going to have to learn how to get into rhythm on whatever we're doing. So let me encourage you to do that. And get a lot of veggies and cut your carbs, but you can't go off carbohydrates altogether. Some people are doing that, and that's not good either. You need carbohydrates to keep your sugar up enough to have your calories stay up high enough, you see? So you don't want to go on a low calorie situation. Now I find a lot of people that have low blood sugar fluctuation problems are people with gallbladder problems. When your gallbladder is acting up, it makes your sugar go crazy. So what's the remedy? Olive oil. The flush. Everybody should experience the flush. gallbladder, liver flush. Get all that dirt, because the reason is that if your bile in your gallbladder is toxic or there's stones or gravel in there, don't let the bile mix with your foods. Your foods ferment. And that bile don't mix with your foods, the carbos and things like that begin to affect the pancreas. Did you know that your bile strength, which I check your saliva, I'm checking your bile in your liver and gallbladder when I check your saliva. So that's why I got that. I'm not interested in collecting spit. I'm not putting in any, didn't need to say that, right? But anyway, that's a direct correlation with your bile, and if your bile is too acid, it overstimulates your pancreas to produce too much insulin. I mean, it'll drive your sugar down when your bile's acid. When it's too alkaline, it won't tell the pancreas to produce enough insulin, no matter what you eat. So that lets the sugar go high. Okay? So that's why I need to know that little number. See, I know a lot about, your body's talking to me when I read your numbers. See, I'm interpreting, when you come and see me for an evaluation, I'm your body's interpreter. See, I'm repeating back to you what it's telling me through your samples. All right? And then I try to let you know that you're doing a good job, and it appreciates it. When you drink your water, get to bed on time. Stuff like that, see? But basically, that's one of the things. When your body's overall acid, I'm just trying to give you some insight into what I'm looking at your numbers. The main thing I look at in your numbers is that ratio of your sugar to salt. It should be a 1-to-4 ratio when you divide the sugar into the salts. I'll allow for 1-to-7. When you get beyond that, it's low sugar. When you get below 1-4, it's high. All right? Now, the next thing I look at is how acid you are. If you're too acid, that makes the sugar go up. If you're too alkaline, it tends to want to make that sugar go too low. All right? So when I look at your overall acid-alkaline balance, that's telling me a lot about how your body's handling the sugars and stuff. When salts are high, they have an acid reaction to your body. So high salts make the sugar go up. You know people with low blood sugar that like salt? They don't get their salt, their sugar goes down, they're miserable. They got to have their salt. That's why. No one would like cheese if it didn't have salt in it. I mean, it'd be bland. You'd hate cheese. You don't like cheese. You like that salt in that cheese. Because it's sticky and it releases it slowly. You know? So, salt in your numbers, I got that reading. That tells me how that's making your sugar go. So if I correct that, what's going to happen? See, what I want to know, if you did everything that I suggested, what would happen to that sugar when we're done? So if there's a problem by doing that, then I give you some crutches. Some things that help support your adrenals or your pancreas so it can cope with your situation as you're making adjustments in your lifestyle. All right? So that's probably the main thing that I work with people on, is that in this area that we're talking about tonight. Everything else takes care of its plate, takes care of itself if we can give the body. But see, what makes this so difficult for you and me as we're working together on this thing is getting a good lifestyle that you can live with, that you can still work with. I can't, see, if I had my way, I'd send you all down to the Bahamas for 6 months. See, because if you did, we could get you rested up, get those adrenals charged up, and we could take care of these problems very quickly. But when you're having to work with 10 kids and a husband and a wife, or husband or wife, and you got a job to go to, and then you got IRS coming up on April 15th and stuff like that, you say it's tough, right? It's tough to get into a rhythm, but it's not impossible. That's what you need to know. It's not an impossible situation. And it's not really that complicated. What makes it complicated is we have all these addictions that we've used to manipulate our body just to keep going because of this sugar fluctuation. And to how to wean off of those addictions without having all these side effects. That's the challenge. And it's not easy, but it can be done. You can do it. So let's do it. Now,